Okay, today we're going to be using a plunger and a closet auger to simulate unplugging a plugged toilet. To start this one out, I'm just going to shut the water off and flush the water, which will leave me a fairly low water level in the bowl. From there, I'm going to take 2 rags to actually plug my toilet, keeping in mind, in a real scenario, never stick your hand inside the toilet. At this point, I can turn the water back on. Whenever I'm working on a toilet, I always like to have the lid off. It allows, if I do a test flush on it, if something goes wrong, I can push the flapper back down in the middle. So looking inside here, you can see my water level will come up and stop. What I want to do when I'm using a plunger is get the water level in the bowl as high as I can. So I can lift up on this trip lever here and allow water to go through. So as it's slowly draining down, the water level is coming up higher inside the bowl. If you happen to lift this up too high, water will come out at a fast rate and possibly overflow. If that happens, I'll do it right now, just push that flapper back down and it doesn't allow the water to overflow on you there. So 1 inch from the top seems to be about a good height for it. A good plunger, quite often when you see them, will have the cone forced in like that on it. You want to open that up, and as we put it in the water here, which is why I like the water level high, I want to get as much air out of this as I can. So I can put it in here, squeeze it over, turn it upside down to get as much air out of there. Water compared to air is compressible. So if I have air inside my plunger, it's going to compress, and I want to have as much force as I can. When you're doing this, you will spill some water, so don't stand over top of it with your eyes wide open and your mouth open. Give it a good force. If the plunger comes back up, give it a couple more shots. When the water level starts to rush down, then you have it cleared. If it hangs up on you, so it took a few tries to go down there. Now that it's gone, I can hold up on the lever and see what actually happens as the water goes down. I would now give it a couple more test flushes. Let's try it on this one here. If it doesn't pop back up, you can hook it on the underside of the bowl. There it goes. Give it a test flush. If after using a plunger and you do a test flush and you find that the toilet's still backing up, the next thing you would probably look at using is a closet auger. So if you take the retrieving head out of the handle, pull it down, don't put this into the toilet at this point here, pull it back in, and carefully insert it and have it up on an angle. If you look at the side of the toilet bowl here, it has to go through here, up over the top, down, around, back, over, down, and out through the bottom. Sometimes when you do this, it'll hit up to the top, turn around, and come back out in the bowl. If that happens, you run a really good chance of scratching the bowl. They do make mounts to lay inside, but they don't fit every size bowl, so just be aware when you're using this that it should come out the top. When I'm going to push it in there now, I still want to hold it firmly by my hand here, but as I'm turning it, it should go through fairly easily. So right now, the other end of that retrieving cable is through the toilet and is actually in the piping itself. When you're pulling it back out, it's nice if you can keep giving it a bit of a turn, so if you hooked onto something, you don't unhook it. At this point here, I can pull it out. I can see I have a little bit of cable still exposed there. So that means I've got the possibility that I could scratch it. So push it back in, pull it back out tight, and only remove it when we have the head sitting right near the end of it.